Welcome back. This is episode 2 of the Inner Pivot Roundtable Discussions. And if you missed last week, I highly recommend you go back and check it out. Remember that this series is based on a book called GWAAN LIKE, where we... Yes, based on a book called GWAAN LIKE, where we introduce the CHECK Yuhself system. And in that CHECK Yuhself system, we learn how to regulate that inner self with the outer self. We learn how to say, if I say I'm feeling good and I'm looking good and I'm doing good, I actually am, because I know how to regulate it from the inside. In this episode, we are going to hear from Kerri Berrick. She's going to share a story, and like I said before, and I'll say again, Kerri is going to make you believe in miracles.
Look up and look in.
What you've gone through, and you figure out, how can I move forward with this?
Started to change. I mean, it's like life started to open up.
And you don't tell me who I am. God tells me who I am.
When you're in the middle of it, it feels like it will never end.
Let's start with you, Miss Kerri.
Okay, fine.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about what you would regard as maybe a challenge to where you are now, and how you feel that you overcame it.
So, thank you for having me.
Of course.
I feel so honored to sit here today with all of you lovely ladies. So you know what? I think my curse became my blessing. And I am 100%, the daughter of an amazing God who uses the most amazing things to reroute you. And a lot of times it comes in the package of what happened to you. It becomes the board or the floor or the platform that you bounce off of to get you to where you are meant to be. And I really do believe that that's what happened to me. So I was diagnosed with something called supraventricular tachycardia. It actually was something that I was born with. I didn't know that I was born with it. I had several episodes over many years and just always thought it was asthma related, which I also have because I'm just built that way. So what happened is that in 2018, and funny enough, it happened when I was at a point in my life. I call it a square peg, round hole, round peg, square hole, doesn't matter. The point is that I didn't think I fit where I was planted, and it was frustrating me. And I went through a corporate journey that taught me everything I know today, introduced me to the most amazing people. But something was missing, and it bugged me badly. And I remember I prayed about it, and I was like, Lord, I want to retire by the time I am 40. I don't want to work for people anymore because I just feel like there's so much more to me. And I was doing amazing, where I was working at we both know, I was working at one of Jamaica's most prestigious companies. I still big it up every day because I still feel like I'm a part of the family. And I was learning so much, and they literally saw great things in me. And they were preparing me for more, but something about just being in corporate, I felt like it was a box for me.
Yeah.
And I prayed, and I was like, Lord, I want to work for myself. I know there's more to me than this. And the good Lord, in his infinite wisdom and hell of a sense of humor, said, all right, boom, and gave me heart failure at 35 in a foreign country. And lots of fantastic things happened after that. So my heart was literally giving out. My doctor was like, we don't know what to do with you. What is going on? And my boss at the time was like, have you told your doctor what's going on at work? There's a lot going on at work. And I was like, no, that's work's business. That has nothing to do with him. And she's like, stop foolishness and go and talk to your doctor. When I told him, he was just like, no, it makes sense. Like, why never say so? He's like, yeah, okay. He said to me he's been in practice for 50-something, or however, long time. And he said to me, I've never said to someone that you have to leave your workplace. But you see, you have a decision to make. And I didn't make the decision right away because I was so afraid to jump out of 9 to 5, every 28th of the month, you get a paycheck, and you know that paycheck is coming, and when it's 27th of the month and you can't even afford a $5 sweetie, you know the 28th is coming.
Yep.
So what happened was that I had never in that period had so many affirmations come to me through different channels, walking randomly on the road, and 2 people at a pass just like, you know that I heard that this person left them job the other day and them just, that boy, you see how them doing well now. And I just like, really, God? Really? So I jumped out, and honestly, I having maintained my network, which is what that place gave to me. It gave me lessons, it gave me know-how, it gave me network. Gave me lessons, it gave me know-how, it gave me network.
Wow.
And it's like I feel now like I can see the stairway to self-actualization that I couldn't see before.
When you were...
I just knew it could happen.
Right.
I knew I couldn't have it happen while I was where I was.
Right.
But I didn't know what had to happen to get me there. And if somebody told me, oh yeah, you're gonna have to nearly die, and you're gonna have to jump out of your regular work, and you're gonna have to figure out how to pay the mortgage every month, and you're gonna have to do all of these scary things, but don't worry, you'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
And I've been like, oh no.
No, thank you.
No way,
No,
I'm
thank
good.
you. Right.
But it became my springboard.
I love this. I want to jump in because when you said what you took away from the job, right? I'm going to tie this into the Check Yourself system for a second. So you're in an environment and it was negative enough or hard enough to where you were advised to leave, even by a doctor who doesn't normally advise such things. It was difficult enough. So you cleared that negativity. That's the first C in the Check Yourself system, right? The second, then the H is to hunt for the positive. You literally left a job that was kind of too much, but you listed that you were able to take the lessons and the network and all of the experience from that job anyway. So that's a strategy in there, is that you cleared the negativity from what you were having to deal with. And then after that, you went ahead and hunted for what was the positive in there anyway. So that's already C and H in the Check Yourself system. So you were already doing it. I love it. All right. So take us to today now, because a lot of us are having these experiences and we're like, you know, we leave the job and we have the negative. We don't necessarily hunt for the positive, or we don't see it, or it's there, but can't really bother with that. The worst is worse than the good, so just stay there. How would you describe, now that happened and brought you here, where are you and how do you feel to be here?
Ooh, so that negativity bit is a journey. It didn't just happen.
Right.
It's still happening.
Correct.
And I have wonderful people in my corner who are here to remind me, you know, of who I am and what I'm really here to do. So where I am today, I should have mentioned that one of my mentors that came from that same workspace, actually 2 of them, introduced me to a phrase that changed my life. Just before what happened. Why not? It's 2 words, but it is so powerful if you really allow it to guide you. I was presented, so I'm many things. I am what you call, another big word, guys. I'm going to teach you so many big words today.
Let's go.
Multipotentialite.
Okay.
What does that mean? It means it's someone who has the capacity and the passion to do several things.
Okay, hold on. How many of us have felt like we have the capacity to do several things, but then told we can't? Like, you're kind of put in a box. It's like, no, pick one.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I lived in that box.
Oh.
So I am a photographer creatively.
Okay.
I am an HR consultant now, professionally. And I also have a big heart for social development causes, huge. Women empowerment, education. There's so many different platforms that I want to jump on my soapbox and scream to the world, look, we can do better. And I initially didn't realize that I had the ability. I knew I had the passion, but I was reading from a very, very incorrectly written cultural framework that said, you really can only do
Pick
one
one.
thing. Pick one.
Yep.
Which is part of the reason why I felt like that round hole square peg situation.
100%.
And if you know what I mean, I am writing a book as well. That is the guide to choosing your ideal career at any age. We'll talk about that later. And I speak to that concept, saying that when you have a, look at the table, round hole, what square peg. If you have a square, this is a hole, you have a square. What's happening is that you are in the hole, you fit in the hole,
Yes.
but there are spaces.
Yes. Yes.
Those spaces represent gaps, things that are going unfulfilled by the hole that you're in.
Wow.
And so, and the reverse is true if it's a square hole and a round peg, there
Right.
are spaces around it. And
Right.
those spaces are the things that are there to frustrate us. But the way I see it, God also uses the frustration to push you out. There's something that I've always lived by. When God is getting ready to move you, he makes you uncomfortable. And if he's making you uncomfortable, it's because if he leaves you comfortable where you are, you will never move.
You won't grow.
No, you won't grow. So I have been forcing myself through a heck of a faith walk. It is a faith walk, right? Having jumped out of that safety net that gives me, earnings at the same time every month and so on, but a specific amount of earnings. What happened to me is that I recognized I could do, because of that mentor who said, two mentors who said, why not? Why can't you do both? I literally told them I couldn't, and they're like, why not? And that's when it clicked. I'm like, yeah, why not?
I don't know.
And so what I realized is that I could, yes, it's scary to not receive a paycheck. I could now have the capacity to determine what I wanted to earn and go after it. And so I was able to start pursuing in a very real way, because again, of great support in my corner. My photography passion, I once asked the question, who would pay me to take pictures? Well,
Pictures are amazing.
And that speaks to what you were saying earlier, that you have a lot of people in your
in my
corner,
corner.
encouraging.
And that's a big part. It's a
That-
big,
and
big
that's an
part of
example.
the secret sauce.
Wow.
So I do photography. Thank you, darling. And then I thought I was running away from my corporate life, and my corporate life actually came running back after me. When I left my workplace, there are other companies who heard that I was no longer at that company, and they literally were calling, so we hear you just left. And I'm like, really? and the concept frightened me. And through that, there's so much growth. And I have that female CEO to thank for also. I don't think she knew what she was doing when she said to me, well, look, we're looking for a head of HR. And in my heart of hearts, I was like, I don't want to go back there. I don't want to go back to corporate. And then two of my amazing head of HR, CHRO mentors, said to me, well, then tell them what you can give them. And I never thought of that. And so I said, oh, well, what would really work for me? What would work for you? Well, a consultancy would work for me. It would allow me to retain my work-life balance, my freedom, and still do important work in HR. And she said to me at the end of the interview, I said, I'm so sorry, I don't think I'm the person for you, because I'm not in a position to take up a 9 to 5, but I can do this for you. And at the end of it, she said, send me a proposal. And that is where Fidelity Human Capital Management started, without even me knowing that that's what was happening.
Nice.
I became an HR consultant, and then have built that over the last 2 years into an HR consultancy firm with local clients, overseas-based clients who have now come to Jamaica to do business, public sector, private sector, NGOs. And one of the things that, so there's that. And then finally, I have a book that's kind of tied to the HR side, as I mentioned, as well as the people side.
Hold on.
There's a lot.
This HR side
Sorry.
needs a little. We need a little.
It needs more?
We need a little. Okay. So wait, I want to be clear with this. When we're talking about a check yourself system, right? We already said she cleared herself away from the negativity, right? She hunted for the positive in that experience anyway, right? We talked about her. Now I want to talk about her embodying all of the things she learned because she was told you can do more than one thing, and she embodied that and became it. Didn't just keep it in, you know, in the mind or keep it in as a concept, but actually utilize it and embodied it and was like, okay, so I'm going to do this. That's the E in the Check Yourself system. And then C is to connect the heart and mind. And when you said, in my heart of hearts, I knew, I was like, that's what we're talking about, right? And then I suspect the next place you're going now is going to be to continue how you're keeping it. And that's the K, is to just keep that state and keep that momentum as much as possible. It doesn't mean you don't have to refresh it. You will constantly be doing and redoing the Check Yourself system, but it's going to continue to expand the impact that you have.
So the last thing, and I did share with you before, that I'm all about helping people be their absolute best self, sustainably.
Yes.
Not just today.
Today.
I like that.
And so
That's important.
from the social development standpoint, I really do believe that one of the things that we lack here in Jamaica, although our education system turns out some of the most amazing people.
Oh, I wasn't.
Well,
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
there's just so much more that's missing in terms of connecting the right people to the right educational resources, and oftentimes who is underserved are those who can't afford.
Yeah.
And so that's the concept behind rebookit.club, which is essentially becoming that educational hub for all things education, full access granted, no matter what strata you come from, no matter what level of the education system you are at. It provides you with accessible, affordable access to the educational resources that my country needs to continue to elevate itself.
Okay, let's give that a little round of applause.
That's lovely.
I love that.
It's a lovely story.
And that note that you ended on saying to enhance the country, that's a big part of what even this movement and this conversation is about, because I want everyone to have access to these conversations. You know, you can do the consulting and you can do the higher level work, which is fantastic, and that's what we've worked for and that's what we want.
Yes.
But we also want to make sure we have an impact on the country. And that's something my husband, actually, I'm going to give you credit, honey, okay? And my husband was like, when you leave your country and you go and you enhance and you make money, you make waves, you learn, you bring it back to your home and you give back. And so and that's why we're here, and that's why these lovely ladies have joined me to help give you guys this message. So talk to me, Miss Kerri.
Oh my
So
gosh.
a little word of encouragement and how you're continuing to serve.
As Jamaicans, we are the most entrepreneurial, mecca business out at anything. Cheryl and I were talking about her being at the pier when the ferry used to run, and the rain started falling, and they ran for cover, and out of nowhere a man just started about umbrella for sale. Now you don't even know if that guy was watching the weather report with Roy Forrester the day before to say, oh, it will rain, I will position. We are so entrepreneurial, but we are some of the least educated.
Yes.
Can you imagine if you did it?
Use the two.
So I'll leave a couple of messages with you. One, and it's the core theme in the book in terms of how you determine what your ideal career is. Who you are, right, and what you are put on earth to do is likely found at the intersection of who you are, what you love, and what you do well.
That's true.
If you back in the day when we talked about months, a Venn diagram,
Yes.
who you are,
Yep.
what you love, and what you do well. You see that little middle sweet spot right there?
Right there.
That is likely what you're meant to be. And if you find that out, and my book will help you do that.
Oh, tell us the name of the book
Comes
again.
out,
Tell us the
right?
Tell us the name
It's
again.
how to choose the ideal career or your ideal career at any age.
Any
Any
age.
age.
At any age.
Even if you're 99, there is no
Right.
excuse.
Why not, as you said earlier?
Why not?
I like that.
And if you and God plants talents in you for that purpose,
Absolutely.
He literally tells you what you're supposed to do,
Yeah.
And whatever it is that
It's
you
in your
think you
DNA.
have a talent
It's in your
for,
DNA.
right? It is in your DNA. I used to love taking pictures at home with my family and things. And there was just something about photography that I absolutely loved. And
Yeah.
up to before I got married,
Yeah.
At 27, I still did not ever think that I could be a photographer.
Right.
An
It
amazing
happened.
photographer.
Right? It was sleeping. It was there because God planted it there before.
Exactly.
HR, He planted it there before. I was running away from it, and He's just like, "Man, what tell you say I'm away? No, you're gonna do it." Right? So look inward.
Yes.
Introspection. Donna said it.
Yeah.
Look at yourself to identify and pray. Look up and look in.
There you go.
Don't
There
look
you go.
out. Everybody else is taking.
There you go.
Yes.
Look up
There you
and
go.
look in
Yeah.
for your compass.
Woo.
Okay.
Write that down.
Write that
I
down.
love that.
And so, you know, I will continue to support in the different platforms that I have. So the book is micro. It's at the individual level. It's helping you to find who you are so you can give your best self and service
Yeah.
to make everyone else around you there to help them while also enriching yourself, because that's what you will do for a living, and you'll do so well at it that it will always pay you.
Yes.
So that's individual.
It will make space for you.
Exactly. At the organizational level, that's where my HR team comes in to build out. I had mentioned to you that we just created this amazing leadership development and diagnostic tool to let you help you to identify your leadership blind spots. And then we literally guide you right through the process, all the way to executive coaching, which we'll talk about. And that's how, and if I can empower and elevate every leader in every company that I work with, can you imagine how we unlock potential with all employees?
Yes.
Again, so that's mid-macro. And then macro is the educational rebookit.club. It's literally rebookit.club. We will be relaunching. We had launched it last year, had to do some fine-tuning, so we're relaunching it in May.
Okay.
REBOOKIT
Rebook it.
dot
Bookit.
CLUB club.
Oh,
Club.
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 And that is where you, everybody, whether you're in kindergarten or you're doing your PhD, you can go there, and it's really the community selling and exchanging and swapping all the educational resources that we have within the community. It will be that connection hub. So between the three of them, must can do something.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that. Yes, all of Kerri's information will be listed here for you to see. The rebookit.club, the book, and of course the mid-macro level organizationally. There's something here for everyone. There are no, Donna said, there's no excuses. There are no
I like that.
excuses.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you? Kerri Berrick helps us to believe in miracles because her journey, baby, her journey. And I want to thank you so much, Kerri, for sharing your journey with us, because not only are we inspired, we're ready to take action. We're ready to use the Check Yourself system in our own lives to take massive action going forward. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you have noticed two other women of influence at that table. And next week for episode 3, we're going to hear from Debbie R. Allen. Yes, we are. And you know what? There's more miracles to come, because although we have a vast variety of things that happen in each of our lives, sometimes they really do overlap. And what we see is the resilience of us as a people. And we're going to see the way Debbie has applied the Check Yourself system in her life to overcome and become. So make sure you tune in next week. We are ready to have you. That'll be episode 3. Go ahead and catch up on 1 if you've missed it, because you don't want to miss any of this. And remember, our final season finale will be a director's cut finale where we watch the entire episode. You get to be right there in the room with us from the start to the finish of the conversation. So first jump in right here on episode 3 next week. And stay tuned with us the entire season, because we are here to dazzle and to impact you in ways you may never thought possible, but it's going to make a real difference in your life. I'll see you episode 3. Inner Pivot Roundtable, baby.
Look up and look in.
What you've gone through, and you figure out, how can I move forward with this?
Started to change. I mean, it's like life started to open up. And
You don't tell me who I am. God tells me who I am.
When you're in the middle of it, it feels like it will never end.